Alright guys, what's up, welcome to Daily Booster. This is a quick off-topic Warhammer 40k video. So I have some towel next to the terrain I made. The terrain is made out of resin, and as you can see, it's almost see-through. It's a lot cheaper option. What do you have to do? You have to get some terrain, you have to get some silicone, and you can use silicone to make some essentially molds like this. This is for the floor, and then there's molds for the actual walls as well. I have two of those molds, and essentially you put them together. I use Glad Wrap so it doesn't leak, fill them up, and you get those walls. I'll just show you quickly what my first wall looked like. It's a bit thicker because it was a practice run. I did manage to get them a lot thinner now, but as you can see, it's got a lot of detail in it, and it is see-through. If you want to keep the walls, you know, if the clear resin like this is not an issue, you can probably just keep them like that, or you can quickly paint them. So we're just gonna have a quick look. They are pretty big terrain pieces. As you can see, tower looks very tiny in comparison. Even for the supremacy armor, it's pretty much can hide behind that thing as well. And I'm using the cork tiles. Let's just quickly put this away and start priming. Let's have a quick spin and have a closer look. It did turn out reasonably heavy, and it is pretty steady. Like, I used some super glue and some PVA glue, especially to do all the sand. You can see some of the glue haven't even dried underneath it, just because there's no air going to it. It's all sealed inside. Here we go. So you can see all the detail here. Once it's all painted, we're going to do a fair bit of dry brushing, and it'll be a lot easier to see. I'm going to use the same technique I already made a video of, the base technique, and it should be very quick. Let's get that primer. Give it a shake. We're going to use our 5.5mm airbrush. This is just here. Turn everything on. I hope it's clean from last time, so only one way to find out. Here you go. Alright, so priming is done. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit spotty, because the resin is clear. The black from other side kind of shows on both sides. So if you do have like a little white spot, you won't be able to really see them because it's black on the other side anyway. So here we go. This is what it looks like at the moment. Yeah, we're just gonna leave that overnight, let it dry, and finish it off tomorrow. Okay, so primer is dry, so what we're going to do now, we're going to use our brown to do a little bit of highlighting. Then we're going to use our Screaming Skull, do the final wash, and then do dry brush. So we only need a couple of paints to do actual cool effects on the terrain. We're going to use airbrush thinner and flow improver. I haven't really used those two before. The one I usually use is this thing, but because there's almost nothing left in there, I'm going to try those two. So let's get the paint ready. We're going to start with brown and give it a good shake, and we're going to mix it up. To mix up the paint, I'm going to use a shot glass and just mix in that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put some airbrush thinner in it first. It is pretty watery. I'm going to drop off that thing. You know, just shake and bake, right? And then once we get our liquids, I'm just gonna keep adding this paint till we're happy with consistency. So that's way too runny. When you put paint on the side of the shotgun glass, you want it to stay on the edge and not to run away like it does now. If we put paint on the edge, it's not running down and still staying where it's supposed to be. That's just how do you check consistency. I think this is good to go, so I'm gonna put that into airbrush. We're gonna use our 0.5 airbrush for that. So we're just gonna quickly fill this bad boy up. Or you can go like this, here you go. Okay. Not gonna go too crazy. What we just want to create good shading. So as usual, I'm gonna spray a little bit to the side. It is very runny, but it shouldn't be an issue. We just want to create a shade effect. So we're gonna go like that, create shade effect from this angle, and then from here. Alright, so you guys can see there's a fair bit of coverage now. This should be easier to do. Okay, so we still want to aim at the angle like this. That's going to be our shade. This is definitely a lot more splatter from this thinner. This is not as thick as the one I used to use. This definitely needs a little bit of getting used to. Yeah, I don't really want to go too much paint. I still want the building to stay reasonably dark, so okay, this is good. Reasonably easy. for this, I'm gonna go same way to create that effect. So that's brown done. I'm gonna quickly wash the airbrush. We can do gold. We can just spray a little bit of gold on these bits here. I do have gold just here. Hopefully it's not too bright, but I'm sure it'll work out. Alright, so this is I'm not gonna do ground because obviously everything on the ground is proper runes, but I'll do just the highlights, just like that. Nothing special. It'll be a lot harder to get in there, but we can still probably do the ones closer to outside. So I think if we lift that and put it on the side, this is going to be tricky. If you put it on the side, you can get your airbrush in there. I'm not going to bother to do that because you probably won't be able to see anyway. I'm just doing general splurts of gold. And that's it. This side is done. That was pretty easy. Just rotate that. Alright, cool. Gold is done. We gotta go and wash both of those brushes and the shot glass, and then we're gonna go this easy wash. Let it dry. Probably let it dry overnight, and then we'll do some sick dry brushing, and then it should look awesome. Okay, so we're gonna use a lot less of this stuff. We just want to highlight certain areas. The highlights coming from this way, just remember. So what we're going to do, move that a little bit, and we're going to target the details. So we're going to target the details. So we're going to go and maybe do this area, this, and kind of concentrate in the middle and just target all the details. Just remember, less is more, so we gotta be really careful with this stuff. We don't want to overdo it. So this is pretty bang on the money. The theory behind this, you don't want to spray this paint on black. That's why you do brown in the first place. And then obviously if you look more into it, the brown will still stay. We're not going to get rid of all the brown. We're just going to work the paint in. Okay, this is our first look. This is what it looks like from this side. I think on the outside it's a little bit easier to do. Okay, so we don't want to overdo it. We just want to get that highlight going, and it's bang on the money at the moment, so just keep that. Now we're gonna do top and inside. So we're gonna go like this and like this. So from the roof. That's it. That's the roof. So we want this a little bit darker. I think we've done that. We didn't put too much, and we already can see light spots, like little light brown spots on the floor, and that's exactly what we're gonna follow. That's it. That's the floor. So I think that's pretty good. Keep the floor a bit darker. Now our favorite bottom floor, which is definitely a pain in the ass. Let's have a look-sees. You probably won't be able to see that as well, but we'll try our best. Okay, so because there's less light in reality underneath, we don't want to put too much color into it because it will just look funny. And then now the easy part, same thing, we'll just go like this and just hit it from this direction and highlight all the detail. Okay, so you don't want to go too much. I've got a little bit of paint left, and I think we just gotta remember that less is more, right? And we gotta stop in the right time. We can't just keep putting paint in it for the sake of it. We want to still have a contrast between dark and light. Right now it's really good. I think once we put some wash on it, it'll really blend everything in, and then we can just do a little bit of dry brushing, and then it will be finished. So I'll just gonna clean. Actually, yeah, I want to do heavy wash, so I'll clean my 0.5 brush, and we'll do a quick wash. This is the wash we're using, which is the Games Workshop. I do most of my bases with it. I either use that or that. This one is darker, this one just a little bit of more yellowish tinge, so you can mix them, mix and match and do stuff with them together, but this will give you a darker outcome. And then for the wash, I'm just gonna use it as heavy wash as it is now, and I'm not gonna bother about putting any thinner water in it. And then we'll just, here you go, it's coming out, and we're just gonna go for it. Just a light wash to get everything together. Well, I think we start from maybe top. Let's do easy stuff first, get used to it. We'll start from the top and work ourselves down, and then we'll leave wash to dry overnight. So as you can see, there's a little bit of pulling, and we can actually go for that effect as well on the gold. That's not an issue. We can really get into gold like this and then give it a little bit of brownish tint to it. That's all up to you, or we can just leave it as a lighter gold. Doesn't really matter. I think we might go for a little bit darker option on the skulls, just to bring them a little bit out. But yeah, everything looks really good. Okay, so the wash is done. As you can see, you can still see a fair bit of color through it. Which is cool. So you don't want to have even colors through anyway. You want to create darker, lighter areas, more wear and tear in some areas. I went a lot heavier on the bottom here, just because it is all dirty and smashed. And then obviously the water walls a little bit lighter. And then that's it, that's done. Definitely gonna wait for the wash to dry to do the final step. And the final step is gonna be our dry brush, which is gonna bring everything back up again. And we're just gonna dry brush with with this color here, Screaming Skull. And we're gonna use our giant brush. So that's going to make everything really quick and easy. But that's tomorrow's job, because that's going to dry. And it looks pretty good so far. The gold really looks nice. It doesn't really scream at you, but you can definitely find a different shade of it. And then if you look from this side, this is a lot darker than if you look from this side. So it creates that contrast as well. So it should look really cool when it's all done. Everything dried overnight. We are ready to go. All we need is our Screaming Skull paint, some toilet paper, and our brush. And hopefully it's only gonna take I don't know, half an hour to finish whole entire thing. So let's just get into it. Okay, so the first side done. All we did, we just went and essentially dry brushed everything down. If you put too much paint on the brush by accident and get too much paint, you can always do another wash. Just with the brush you can just wash it, and then it'll make a darker effect, so it's not as noticeable. And the idea of dry brushing for this is not to, get a lot of different color into it. It's already looks very nice. All you're doing is just highlighting the edges, which brings up all the details. As you can see, you have all these little edges of the fan, the skulls. They're a lot easier to see now because they're lighter contrast to what it was. And essentially when you're done, just have a look over the side you're done, and if you want to bring up some more details, let's say this door, like eagle on the door or skulls, just do a bit more dry brushing, and don't go crazy with the paint. Try to get most of the paint off, because it's a lot easier to do, I don't know, it's a lot easier to dry brush twice with a little bit of paint than having too much paint and you have to redo the whole entire thing with the wash, or may even respray if you don't like it completely. So yeah, just a little bit of paint on the brush and work it in. I'll finish whole entire model. I will quickly show you little bits and pieces, and then we'll do the final shots with the models. So now you guys can see finished product. There's a lot of detail. If you have a look through, you can see that the areas which are a lot darker, the highlights show a lot stronger because you got dark and light color for your dry brush. And then obviously you can see all these little pipes, fans, buttons, little writing. I don't know if the camera picks it up pretty well or not, but you can go as crazy as you want. You can do darker dry brushing, lighter dry brushing. This is just a simple give you idea how quickly you can do all your terrain. It did take just under 30 minutes to do all the dry brushing. It is a little bit of the workout with the brush, however you can see definitely worth it. There's a lot of detail, and it's gonna look pretty cool on the actual terrain, like on the actual game. And it's really quick process. As you saw, most of it was done with the brush, which was really quick. And this is the final result. I'm gonna grab some other miniatures and check them down so you guys have a quick look. Here we go. As you can see, definitely makes a difference with the figurines. This is some Elder I done earlier. This is one of my original styles for the bases, so there's not much going on here. It's mainly just airbrush and wash, but with the dry brushing, this definitely makes a difference. So here we go. Just give you a quick perspective how cool it can look, and you quite easily can smash all your terrain, you know, on the weekend, even if you have a full table of just random buildings and stuff like that, just using that technique. And I think worked out pretty cool. Just remember, this is about 60 to 70 bucks to make this, but obviously after you spend money on making silicone molds and just practice to make a good molds as well. So it definitely took a few tries to get it done, and here we go. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give us a like, and if you guys want to see future painting videos or whatever, just give us that sub so you don't miss it out. And I'll see you next time.